In every big decision, the mind fights with itself to do something or not to do something, to act or not to act. Here's how one young fellow decided to act and yielded big rewards. Mr. Deshpande's situation is similar to that of a number of other young women and men. He is in his 20s, has a wife and child, and still has only a modest income. Mr. and Mrs. Deshpande lived in a small apartment. Both wanted a new home. They wanted the advantage of more space, cleaner surroundings, a place for the children to play, and a chance to build up equity in their own property. But there was a hitch to buying a new home: the down payment. One day, as Mr. Deshpande was writing next month's rent check, he became very disgusted with himself. He observed that the rent payment was as much as monthly payments on a new home. Mr. Deshpande called his wife and said, "How would you like to buy a new home next week?" "What's got into you?" she asked. "Why make jokes? You know we can't. We haven't even got the money for the down payment." But Mr. Deshpande was determined. He says, "There are hundreds of thousands of couples like you who are going to buy new homes someday, but only about half of them ever do. Something always comes up to stop them. We are going to buy a home. I don't know yet how we will raise the down payment, but we will." Well, the next week they found a house they both liked, quite modest but nice, for rupees 6 lakh down payment. Now the concern was to find a way to arrange rupees 6 lakh. Mr. Deshpande knew he couldn't borrow the down payment through the usual channels, for this would hamper his credit, so that he couldn't get a mortgage for the sale price. Where there is a will, there is always a way. Suddenly Mr. Deshpande got an idea. Why not contact the builder and work out a private loan arrangement for the down payment as rupees 6 lakh? Mr. Deshpande did the same. At first the builder was cold to the idea, but Mr. Deshpande persisted. Finally it was agreed. The builder would in effect advance Mr. Deshpande the rupees 6 lakh to be repaid at INR 10,000 per month plus interest. Now all Mr. Deshpande had to do was to find rupees 10,000 a month. Mr. and Mrs. Deshpande brainstormed amongst each other and figured out a way to cut expenditure by rupees 3,750 per month. But that still left rupees 6,250, which Mr. Deshpande would have to raise each month. Then Mr. Deshpande got another idea. The next morning he went in to see his boss. He explained to his employer what he was doing. His boss was glad to learn that Mr. Deshpande was going to buy a new home. Then Mr. Deshpande said, "Look, Mr. Johnson, to work this deal out, I've got to earn at least rupees 6,240 more each month. Now I know," Mr. Deshpande continued, "you'll give me a raise when you feel that I deserve it. What I want now is just a chance to earn more money. There are some things around here that could best be done on weekends. Will you make it possible for me to work then?" And finally Mr. and Mrs. Deshpande moved into their new home. The result was simply astounding. 1. The resolution to take action ignited Mr. Deshpande's mind to think of ways to accomplish his goal. And 2. Mr. Deshpande gained tremendously in his new confidence. It will be much easier for him to take action in other major situations. And moreover, Mr. Deshpande provided his wife and child the living standard they deserved. Had he waited or postponed buying the house until conditions were perfect, there is a real possibility they never would have owned a home of their own. Okay. Time for us to discuss another real life story of one Mr. Chandak who wanted to start his own business. But Mr. Chandak represents another case of what happens to big ideas when one waits until conditions are perfect before taking action on those ideas. Shortly after clearing his entrance exams, Mr. Chandak got a job with the Central Excise and Customs Department of Government of India. He liked his work, but after 5 years, he became dissatisfied with the confinement, regular working hours, low pay, and a seniority system with its relatively narrow chances for advancement or promotion. Then he got an idea. He had learned a great deal about what it takes to be a successful importer. Why not set himself up in the business of importing low-cost gift items and toys? Mr. Chandak knew many successful importers who didn't have his knowledge of the ins and outs of the business. It's been 10 years now. Mr. Chandak decided he wanted to go into business for himself. But today, he's still working for the customs office. Why? Well, every time Mr. Chandak was just about ready to cut loose on his own, something happened that stopped him from taking action. Lack of money, economic recession, new baby, need for temporary security, trade restrictions, and more excuses, all served as reasons for waiting and for not taking the first step to business ownership. The real truth is that Mr. Chandak let himself develop into a pessimist. He wanted conditions to be perfect before he took action. Since conditions never ever became perfect, Mr. Chandak never took action. There are two things which you can do to help yourself to avoid the costly mistake of waiting until conditions are perfect before you act. The first one is expect future obstacles and difficulties. Every venture consists of certain amount of risk, problems and uncertainties. Let's suppose you wanted to drive your car from Pune to New Delhi, but you insisted on waiting until you had absolute assurance that there would be no alternative route, no motor trouble, no bad weather, no drunken drivers, no risk of any kind. When would you start? Never. In planning your trip to New Delhi, it makes sense to map your route, check your car in other ways to eliminate all risk. The second things which you can do to help yourself to avoid the costly mistake of waiting until conditions are perfect before you act is meet problems and obstacles as they arise. The test of a successful person is not the ability to eliminate all problems before he takes action, but rather the ability to find solutions to difficulties when he encounters them. In marriage, business, or in any activity, cross bridges when you come to them. We can't buy an insurance policy against all problems. Make up your mind to do something about your ideas. 5 or 6 years ago, a very capable professor told me of his plans of writing a book, a biography of a controversial personality of a few decades ago. His ideas were more than interesting, they were alive, fascinating. The professor knew what he wanted to say, and he had the skill and energy to say it. The project was destined to reward him with much inner satisfaction, prestige and money. Last summer, I saw my friend again and I innocently asked him whether the book was about finished. My asking him so was a blunder and it opened up an old wound. No, he hadn't written the book. He struggled with himself for a moment as if he was debating with himself whether to explain why. Finally, he explained that he had been too busy. He had more responsibilities and just couldn't get to it. In reality, what the professor had done was to bury the idea deep in his mental graveyard. He let his mind grow negative thoughts. He visualized the tremendous work and sacrifices that would be involved. One evening, we were visiting in a friend's home when their 5-year-old boy, who had been put to bed 30 minutes before, cried out. The youngster had been overstimulated by a science fiction movie and was afraid the little green monsters were going to enter his room and kidnap him. I was well impressed by the way the boy's father relieved the young boy's worry. He didn't say, "Don't worry, son, nothing is going to get you. Go back to sleep." Instead, he took positive action. He made quite a show for the boy by inspecting the windows to be sure they were tight. Then he picked up one of the boy's plastic guns, put it on a table beside his bed and said, "Ani, here's a gun for you, just in case." The little fellow had a look of complete relief. 4 minutes later, he was fast asleep. Ideas are important. Let's make no mistake about that. We must have ideas to create and improve anything. Success turns away from the person who lacks ideas. But let's make no mistakes about this point either. Ideas in themselves are not enough. That idea for getting more business, for simplifying work procedures is of value only when it is acted upon. Every day, thousands of people conceal good ideas because they are afraid to act on them. And afterward, the ghosts of those ideas come back to haunt them. Put two thoughts deep in your mind. First, give your ideas value by acting on them. Regardless of how good the idea is, unless you do something with it or you take some action on it, you gain nothing. And two, second, act on your ideas and gain mind harmony, peace of mind. You shall hear a lot of people saying something like, had I gone into business 7 years ago, I'd sure be sitting pretty now. Or I had a hunch it would work out like that. I wish I had done something about it. A good idea, if not acted upon, produces terrible psychological pain. But a good idea acted upon brings enormous mental joy and satisfaction. Got a good idea? Then do something about it. Use the power of action and take the first step to cure fear and gain confidence. Here's something to remember. Action feeds and increases confidence. Inaction in all forms leads to fear. To fight fear, act, take action. To increase fear, put off, postpone. Waiting or postponement even makes the experts nervous. Many actors agree that the only cure for stage fear is action. Getting right out there before the audience is the cure for all worries and fear. Action cures fear. So what are you waiting for? Decide to start your own business now. Take the first step and achieve peace of mind, financial freedom, and a career for life. Thank you.